So here we are today with Vladimir Gil Ramón, who we're delighted to welcome as a Leverhulme visiting fellow to the Treated Spaces Research Group here at the University of Birmingham. Vladimir is from the Catholic University of Peru, and Peru, of course, being a country that's experienced some of the most aggressive advances in the mining frontier in the modern era. And we're really delighted to welcome him. I did want to him to talk just a little bit about what it's going to be like because most people in Britain, our image of Peru is connected to a small cuddly bear called Paddington, who, of course, has no connection whatsoever to Vladimir, but I imagine he's going to hear more and more about Paddington as time goes by. And as we were talking about this, we realized that there has been some diplomacy between Peru and the United Kingdom via Paddington. Vladimir, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, thank you, Joy. It's a privilege to join the team, and it will be also a privilege to join this exchange. Now I'm on the arrow moves on the other sense, and then and Paddington came back, and he had this public relation tour, I think, with the ambassador also. And they had these ceremonies. There's a statue here by one of the biggest malls in the capital. And so now I'm reciprocating in some way the visit, and I'm very privileged to, as I said, to join the team. I come from the Catholic University in Peru. I teach at an environmental development program and at the social science department. And I'm also researcher at a think tank called GRADE, Group of Analysis of Development. And I'd be glad to talk more about my project at any moment, John.
So, coming to your project, do you want to get rid of Paddington so as we can see you more, and maybe just say a little bit about what you're planning to do while you're here at the University of Birmingham and what excites you about what you're about to do?
Thank you again, Joy. It's a privilege, as I said, to join the team. I'm very excited I really look forward to be in Birmingham. During my time with the Treated Spaces Research Group, I plan to advance my new book manuscript for Cambridge University Press. This work uses the case of the largest oil spill in Peru's recent history to develop a conceptual model for technological disasters. The goal is to improve prevention, mitigation, and remediation strategies, specifically for vulnerable local and indigenous peoples. My research sits at the intersection of economic anthropology and political ecology, examining how communities navigate socio-environmental conflicts. Building on the work of my previous books, such as Fighting for Andean Resources, where I focus on the governance of risk and social monitoring in mining areas, I now look forward to discussing how indigenous perspectives on territory and the social technologies of power can contribute to global dialogues on environmental justice and hydrosocial governance.
So, one of the reasons we were so attracted to your work is your brilliant book that you just mentioned about the Andes and so on. And you had a certain intellectual contribution there and a certain way of looking at territory and the intersection of territory and land. Do you want to say a little bit more about that, please?
Sure. Um, so the concept of territory in my books, Aterrizaje Minero, which was the previous one, and especially in Fighting for Andean Resources, there I explore how territory is not just a physical space or a resource, but a living social and ecological fabric. I saw this clearly during my recent fieldwork with artisanal fishermen affected by a massive recent oil spill in Peru. They weren't just asking for monetary compensation, they were really demanding remediation. No? For them, the sea is their territory, a vital space of life and identity that 4 years later has yet to be restored. This reveals a universal vulnerability. The plight of these fishermen reflects the same challenge faced by local and indigenous communities worldwide when confronting technological disasters. Whether it is a local oil spill or the planet scale disaster of global warming, the threat is the same, the breaking of the ties that bind a culture to its environment. By understanding these territories, we can better grasp our collective vulnerability in a changing climate, a perspective I hope to weave into our discussions in Birmingham and across the UK academic community.
Brilliant. So people can catch you at Birmingham giving your public lecture, and you're also going to a series of other British universities, and you're probably quite open to being invited other places as well, I imagine. Is that the case, Vladimir?
Yes, I really look forward to these exchanges. I mean, I really want to have exchanges with academics so in terms of a dialogue that might make this book very universal, no? So I'm analyzing a case study and I want to compare to other cases. And I think through these dialogues, these conversations, I will really grasp the main questions and discussions and a conceptual model for technological disasters in general, for these local communities and local vulnerable communities, and amongst them, especially the indigenous peoples. No?
Fantastic. I think your work's so important at this time, as you know, the extractive frontier is moving forward at such pace, and states themselves are increasingly porous, and there's this realignment happening geopolitically. I think it's absolutely of the moment what you're doing, and you're so welcome to come to Birmingham, and we look forward to welcome you in a couple of weeks' time. I really look forward to it.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Joy. And
Thank
thank
you.
you to all the people in the team.